I think we need to talk about the Gen Z generation, which are our kids. I mean, your daughter, Maya, is Gen Z. My two kids are Gen Zs. And these guys are generations that you should not be messing with. Let's just have a look at this video so that you can understand a little bit better Generation Z. Have a look.
Gen Z entering the workforce, it's going to be a lot of change. For Gen Z, if I can log on and log in, I'm at work. So I think the physical office is really going to be challenged. Another thing that we know about this generation they're really going to challenge is the pace at which things get done. And everyone talks about work-life balance. You know, I got my work and my life, and work's from 9 to 5, and then your life, and how do we balance the two? What I love about Gen Z is they just don't think it works, and it really hasn't worked. What they go for is work-life blend, where work and life are 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
By spring of their senior year, iGen teens are less likely, compared to previous generations, to have their driver's license, to work at a paid job, to go out on dates, to drink alcohol. And we've already seen this with millennials in young adulthood, taking longer to settle into careers, to marry, to have children, and so on. So the whole developmental trajectory is slowed down.
Gen Z is by far the most diverse generation ever, and we're also the most interconnected around the globe. And part of the reason is, you know, now with our generation, when something happens, the entire world finds out immediately through social media, through hashtags. We're always connected to each other, so we feel as though whether it happened in the same building or 1,000 miles away, it is immediately affecting us because we hear about it, and so we feel obligated to help and be a part of the situation, whether it's positive or negative. They
are also the one that values equality the most, whether we're talking about race or gender or sexual orientation or transgender issues. They're really much more open and focused on equality.
We really do not fear failure. So whether it be through political activation or entering new workplace or trying new things, we're willing to try something and fail.
And this is going to have a great impact on the other generations. For the rest of us who have been so cautious, that's going to really rub off to get us to step outside our box and maybe try some new things.
Great video. And I think what it drives us to understand is that the moral compass of young people, and for me being a really old fart, everyone's a young person, but of the Alpha generation and Generation Z, they understand issues a lot better than most, but they're interconnected. You've got a generation now where they are interconnected. They know each other, not everybody, but they have means of spreading relationships with each other. And they feel very comfortable on a global scale, just getting things done. If you look what happened there was mentioned with Donald Trump, with the rally that was meant to come straight after lockdown. So the TikTok generation, when you look at the power that they have and how interconnected they are, if you look at what they did with Trump's initial rally after lockdown, they decided that they wanted to prank it. So they sent the word out that we're going to buy all the tickets in advance and not go. Now that's incredible, and I think that the knockback on TikTok is a direct result of pranking Donald Trump by saying we're all going to go, we're going to buy millions of tickets, and then nobody turns up. That's a really powerful group of people who decide to champion K-pop, Asian pop, and that becomes huge as well. There's lots of reasons why you should be scared of them, but also the fact that they are looking at us and going, well, look at you guys, look what you've decided. That's rubbish. Now, if you consider as well the fact that their ability to connect has been growing from when they were born, but these last 7 months of lockdown is probably more like an incubator for them to super interconnect. Because it's not like we could say, right, go out and play in the garden, go out and play outside. They weren't allowed to. They had to stay in many places just because of a lockdown. So what do? You never get bored, you never get fidgety, go on your iPad. My daughter created a YouTube channel before we went into lockdown, and now she's got like 600, 700 subscribers. She's got videos that go out to maybe 40,000 people watching her videos. She's a monster online, and for most people our age of Esto, we're working on getting those kind of numbers after many years of striving towards it to pick up relationships like that. But the kids do it effortlessly. They all connect. And one of the things that's so powerful about that generation is they don't believe in ownership. They don't believe that this is mine. It's a collaborative generation. They want to start something, pass it to you, pass it around, and let's see what we can create by doing it all together. There's no me, me, me. So for instance, we protect them by saying that we want to make sure that you don't put your proper name online, and you don't, because there's predators and things out there. They just make up new names and they do it. And they're quite happy connecting with their aliases and creating great relationships with their aliases. My daughter has got a whole load of different cartoon signatures and ways of doing her name and watermarks that she puts on her videos. And it's not her, but it is her, because she's created this alternative identity. That's something at our age, we'd be happy just kicking a ball about and not even thinking about. So we've got kids now who, when it comes to schooling, I think they're already ahead of school before they even start, because the things that schools are going to teach them that they're going to need when they graduate, they're already doing before they get to their first set of exams.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something also very interesting how the whole thing on these 7 months that we have been in lockdown and semi-lockdown has gone also with generations. I mean, one of the things that we heard during the times of the lockdown was the Karen. And of course, the Karen is a direct attack on Generation X. And then, of course, I mean, the kids also calling the parents boomers. That's just a reflection of how they see us. I mean, they see us as we were saying, old farts. And that's why I have taken it as a mission of mine to be able to communicate to that level. I want to close that generational gap, because we need to start seeing them. I mean, it is a very revolutionary generation. I think it's a generation that is going to be fighting for several things. I mean, right now, if you see a lot of what has been happening with the Black Lives Matter, a lot of what is happening with all those things that they don't like, they are activists. They're activists, so they're going to be fighting for what they want. So the last thing you want is actually be messing around with them. My recommendation, and I'm sure that Dave is also exactly on the same page, is embrace them.
Embrace them, tell them everything, and ask forgiveness before they tell their friends exactly how stupid you've been. I think the thing that's made a difference for Ernesto is when we grew up, we had a world where the media controlled everything, but a small group of people controlled the media. So you could tell a nation what they should think by giving them programming, by giving them news. I mean, fake news is a reality now, but giving them news that they would buy into. And because everybody had the focus of watching TV on an evening to get the entertainment from that little goggle box. Remember when a TV was like a square and not just a single side or even a laptop? We would follow what we were given and we would eat it and sleep it. Nowadays, what's happened is every young person would never ever dream of watching TV. What somebody else has created the content and I've got to sit and watch it. Why would I do that? And instead what they have is the ability to create their own media and broadcast their own content if they want anybody else's. And this is a mindset that's different, because the power that was in media, the power that was in the producers, the directors, the script writers has now gone, and they don't want to deal with the stuff that we liked. They are doing their own, like it or not.
Yeah. And just as a very last comment, what I think is just super crazy is that this is the in-between generation from the millennials to the Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha are the kids from the millennials. Now, the millennials was also a crazy and to many ways a bit of a disturbed generation. Now imagine how is Generation Alpha going to be, and we're going to be talking about that on the next episode of the Toilet Paper Diaries.
We can't take blame for everything, but we did start this going, so I guess we take some of it. Thanks for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you watch all the videos over here. There's 2 choices for you. Or, of course, I'm Dave Crane coming from Dubai.
And this is Ernesto Verdugo coming from Houston.
And I think we should send a message. Hold on.
What is this?
Subscribe.